want to get over to Jaden Knowles with the weather now. Jaden, it doesn't necessarily, here I am. It doesn't necessarily feel like March out there, but yes, it is the end of March, and we tied yet another heat record.
Yet another one. At least we didn't break it this time. And let's be positive, I guess, with that. We matched that record of 79 degrees. And look at these temperatures currently. I mean, as you're leaving the game this evening, temperatures still in the upper 60s, even some low 70s out there. We're at 68 degrees right here in downtown Denver. Now, satellite and radar, we're starting to see that increase in cloud coverage. And throughout the afternoon hours, we did see maybe a stray shower or two, mainly over towards the eastern plains. But for the most part, we're staying nice and dry as we head into your Monday. Tonight, as we head into tomorrow morning, I should say, 50 degrees is going to be your temperature. But here is what we're tracking the next couple of days. Look at that, 50% coverage-wise as we head into Tuesday and to Wednesday. So much needed moisture. We're going to break down the timing and tell you the details later on in the show. Jenny?
Thank you. Funding lapse for the Department of Homeland Security has now extended the partial government shutdown into day 44, making it the longest shutdown in U.S. history now, even longer than the fall. All while TSA agents are supposed to finally get paid tomorrow. President Trump signed an executive order on Friday that would allow for the payment in an effort to ease the long security lines at airports. The House had approved a short-term funding bill for DHS, which included funding for ICE and Border Patrol, but Senate Democrats say they will block funding for those two agencies. As both parties are approaching how to fund or if to fund DHS very differently, along with ICE policies, Colorado faith leaders today came together on Palm Sunday to push back against federal immigration policies and the Trump administration.
They say now is the time to rely on what brings them together, not what makes them different. Angela McCall shares their story.
Greetings to you, good people who are committed to love and liberation.
During a time of political division, religious leaders feel called to come together.
We, people of faith and conscience, are on the side of love and liberation.
People of different faiths, Christian, Jewish, Catholic, and Buddhist, learned they feel compelled to the same call to action.
If you believe in love, then we need to stand together. If you believe in unity, then we need to stand together.
Unity, to stand up for something they all believe in, the rights of the immigrant community, opposition to ICE, and what they call federal abuses of power.
People who have built their lives, worked their hardest jobs in our city, buried loved ones, and raised American children are being treated as disposal.
Our love for each other carry us through.
This event, falling on Palm Sunday, wasn't a coincidence, bringing people together who lead congregations and places of worship across the metro.
Palms were a very important part of Palm Sunday because it was a symbol of protest.
Adrian Miller with the Colorado Council of Churches says 2,000 years later, they chose Palm Sunday with their own pushback.
Because often we're told to stay apart, but we are stronger together. And when you start looking at different faith traditions around the world, a lot of them are saying the same thing. They're talking about love. They're talking about peace.
Hallelujah.
Themes of courage and love overlap.
You know that we are called to act in this moment.
And the desire to do something, no matter what religion practiced.
Namaste. May it be so. Right on. Salam. Amen.
People who attended there were also encouraged to sign a letter urging Colorado's congressional delegation to oppose increased funding for detention centers here in the state. The head of Colorado's controversial wolf recovery program is retiring. This was first reported by our partners at the Coloradan up in Fort Collins. According to the agency, Eric Odell will retire at the end of June. He was named the state's first wolf conservation program manager after voters narrowly passed a proposition to reintroduce wolves to Colorado. He led the reintroduction of 25 wolves to Colorado from places like Oregon and British Columbia. 13 of the released wolves have since died. Denver's still buzzing after a record-breaking home opener for Summit FC. The team has shattered a National Women's Soccer League attendance record by more than 20,000 people. 63,004 fans showed up to Empower Field on Saturday to be a part of sports history here in the city. And the Summit's first home game marked, of course, a major milestone in bringing the first women's pro soccer team to Denver. And Saturday's match was especially meaningful, of course, for women and young girls around the metro area.
And for one young girl, that representation on the pitch goes even deeper. 9 News reporter Rachel Krause has that story.
Fine, ready? This is going to be kind of a hard kick, okay? Oh my gosh, are you trying to score or pass to me?
With a new pro league in town,
Nice.
That's better, pass.
Summit Fever is sweeping Denver.
Oh, yeah, I got very excited.
Christina Stein was stoked to bring her girls to the first ever home game,
I kept saying I think every girl parent in Denver was at that game. Whoa, oh my God.
I just couldn't wait for the day to come.
including her 9-year-old soccer fan, Hayden.
It's a very fun sport for me since having one hand in some sports would be very hard, but in soccer, the literally one rule is don't use your hands, so.
For Hayden, representation on the field went even further.
She's a lot like me.
A limb-different player playing for the pros.
You can hear my voice, I'm basically crying.
Hayden catching defender Carson Pickett's eye after the match with some help from her little sister.
Carson! And she also wiggled my arm around sometimes.
You can see the teammate runs over, points her out, and as she was walking up, it's just an amazing moment.
Photos mark a more meaningful moment.
It filled me with hope that I could become a soccer player when I grow up, and there's nothing stopping me.
That memory creating lifelong Carson Pickett fans rooting for her and the Summit on and off the pitch.
Yes, definitely.
I hope she wins.
We'll be back.
In Denver, Rachel Krause, 9 News.
Hayden says she's hopeful that one day she could be right up there on the pitch like Carson playing with the pros.